oppression. You know, it oppresses me that the only language I can speak fluently is a people's language who came here and meant us harm. You know, that they were saying when they came here and they were seeking freedom, religious freedom, and from being prosecuted and prosecuted, what's the difference? It's all down on you. You know, from religious freedom, it wasn't granted to the American Indian until 1978. Can you imagine that? 1978. At a time, turn of the century, 1909, we had to ask permission from the superintendent if we wanted to leave the reservation. We weren't allowed to have our powwows, you know. And now what happens? You guys are always invited. If you see a powwow wherever you're from, you're invited. You can go, you can take part. They even have, sometimes they invite people in to dance, you know, intertribal, or, you know, they'll ask their guests to come in and dance. But, you know, I could go on and on. Do you guys have any questions? I'm kind of, go ahead.
The superintendent.
Of the Bureau of Indian Affairs, each reservation had like an agency, and at one time they wanted to move all of Red Lake, all of our people over to White Earth, and we refused, of course, to go. And so then they set up an agency here in Red Lake. And that agency, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, is an agency that was in 1824 located within the Department of War. And mind you, it's a Department of, it was called Indian Affairs probably or something like that then. And then about 1849 it was transferred into the Department of Interior. And it's rather strange that you would have an entity of the United States government that deals with human beings located within, first of all, the Department of War, where we should have stayed, because right now that's the most well-funded department in the government, and we probably wouldn't be, you know, we'd probably be having more money for, you know, entitlements. And then they put us in the Department of Interior. So what's in the Department of Interior? You have these layers of other departments that all have to do with land and resources. The National Park, the mines and minerals, and you know, hey, what's this? American, you know, Bureau of Indian Affairs? What are we, the fauna of the earth? You want to treat us like the fauna because you know that if we want to reclaim some land, that you're going to have all these other departments dealing with the prime resource within, and that we'd have to go through in order to get what's rightfully ours. So, you know, the history isn't bright, but it's the truth.
You mentioned a little bit about healthcare. Can you talk a little bit more about the healthcare situation?
Okay, let's start out with the dentist. If you're lucky enough to get an appointment, you got to call in. What is it, the first day of the month? And if you can get an appointment, it's down the road. But if you have a critical need, a critical ailment, a pain you can't bear, you go in at 6:30, 7 o'clock, as early as you can make it there between that time. Then you sign in, and then you're in line in the order of which you came. And if you're lucky enough, you sit there in pain all day, you can get in to see the dentist. And but someone got really clever. This is so cool. I think it's cool. Someone got there early in the morning, and then found out someone down the line, hey, you want to buy my spot? I'll sell it to you for $20. You know, that's pretty resourceful. You know, I think that's pretty clever myself. You know, I mean, you're playing off the pain of someone else, but if you're not in that much pain and you have a need, you survive. So that's the healthcare and the dental, and we only have maybe we have 2 or 3 now to service the whole reservation. Whole reservation population is about maybe 6,500 or thereabouts, maybe even more.
And how many doctors?
Doctors, I couldn't tell you. Oh, dentals, I think 3 dentists.
In the whole town?
On the whole reservation.
On the whole reservation.
And there's 4 districts, and there's about 7,000 people. 6,500.
Strange. Wow.
So you can tell why you ended up in critical need, because you can't get in. And then healthcare, it's like horror story after horror story. You know, some people This one woman was in an accident. She went over to the Red Lake Clinic, and we have two different parts. We have a outpatient where the mainstays doctors are the ones that have been here for years. Most 3 of them I know have been here for at least 10. And then you have the another part, which is the emergency part, where we have this rotation of doctors coming in, and they probably still get their loans forgiven if they work in a, you know, poor part of America, you know. And so then you have them coming in, you know, some of them are foreign doctors because they want to come here, get the education, go back home, but they got to do an internship. I don't know what's going on. That's what I you know, have heard. And so then our people get misdiagnosed. A woman had broken neck, sent home, kept on complaining, taken down to Bemidji. Oh, you have a broken neck. Same with a kid, broken leg. Oh, yeah, that's all right. He's just gonna be sore, probably a sprain. Go down, and he went 2 weeks or a week and a half with a broken part of his leg. I mean, it's just, you know, one thing after another. I mean, I can, you know.
What about drug and alcohol services?
Drug and alcohol services, there's no liquor allowed on the res. No, so we don't have any alcohol services here. No,
Mr. Calling in life, comedian.
We won't. You can't get a beer around here.
It's not true.
That is true.
It's true.
It's illegal to have alcohol on the Red Lake Reservation.
Really?
Because back in
Seriously?
serious.
No jokes aside, you can't have no
no. Back in 1889, they said, "Hey, we don't want to see that," because you remember. I mean, I didn't say this, but now you're going to remember that they used whiskey to treat with our people. They had a fund specifically set aside to go out and commission and treat with the Indian people. And so then our chiefs back then, you know, our chiefs, I think they were just our headmen, our leaders. They said, we don't want that ever to be here. You know, it'll be the ruin of our people. You know, so we held on to that, and we honor that, and you know, liquor isn't allowed. It's against the law here in Red Lake. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's different on the other, like the non-closed reservations or the reservations that have less
Less
autonomous
land and
control.
stuff. Yeah. I imagine it's not against the law. They're so enmeshed, you know, that it would be kind of hard to enforce. I don't know. I know that like Mille Lacs doesn't allow liquor in their hotel, and another casino at Hinckley. It's really strange. They have one part that's on the reservation and another part that's off. You can only have 2 drinks here. Then go down through a maze and down a hallway. It's owned by someone else on different land. So I couldn't really. I know Red Lake is it's prohibited, but I couldn't speak for the other reservations, and you know.
Do a lot of people break that law, or?
What do you think?
I'm gonna say yes.
No, we're all straight and perfectly clean. We are all law-abiding citizens. Hey, Red Lake are people. There's laws, they're broken. You know.
No different than
No different than, you know. We're not. Yeah.
No different than
So
that.
what I